Huh? Yes. Okay. Like we were mentioning, we're going to try to round this up, and you can actually view the prior videos we did on this particular topic, and it should come through clear. It should come through clear. It should come through clear when you review it back. Like Elder Lawyer mentioned earlier, that in Judges 8 and 33, it spoke of a god being worshipped, Baal Berith. And that's an organization under the Zionist or Jewish powers. That's an organization today. Okay, Baal Berith, or the sons of Baal Berith, and the worships of Satan is an elite organization that worships Satan under the Jewish powers. I mentioned earlier that we don't blame all Jewish people for this, because they are also a part of the conspiracy. Their children are being bussed in by loads into Jewish areas and into synagogues, and they make trips to Jerusalem in which they program them. They make trips to Poland in which they tell them that the Polish people don't like them and that the Holocaust is still something that we should remember, to program them into believing that everyone is trying to attack them, while the elite who are programming them are behind attacking the world through a Holocaust or a sacrifice. I hope you can all hear us, all right? So I wanted to test it this way, because if this works, this is the way we're going to do it going forward, all right? Now, questions. If you have any questions, you could ask your questions concerning this particular topic before we go into a quick lesson to show people who is Melchizedek. So we're going to open it up for questions. So what I need you to do, Mike, is just give me the name of the person that's asking the question, and we'll answer them back. Question? Okay. Any questions? You can open it up now, and we'll answer the questions. What's the first question? Just read what you see.
How did the so-called Jews still be?
Okay. You said, how did the so-called Jews steal what?
Identity of real Jews.
Good question. And who asked that question?
Abby 24.
Abby 24. One moment. The question is, how did the Jewish people in Israel steal the identity of the children of Israel? It was quite simple. It's quite simple. Get Jeremiah 17.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9.
Read.
Verse 5.
Verse 5. Read.
Thus saith the Most High, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord.
Read the fourth verse.
Verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Read it again.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
So the Most High God said that Israel would discontinue from their heritage for their disobedience of breaking God's commandments. So if the real children of Israel lost their heritage, how did they lose their heritage? Go to Luke, the 21st chapter, where it says we shall be scattered.
Luke chapter 21, verse 20.
Read. How did they lose their inheritance or their heritage? Read.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies,
The armies was the Roman armies who destroyed the children of Israel in 70 AD. Read.
then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
So he says, know that the desolation of Israel is near. Christ warned of this, the desolation of abominations, spoken of in Daniel's. Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Then let they who be in Judea flee into the mountains. So the real Jews fled into the mountains. Read.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
Because why? In 70 AD, the Romans, under General Vespasian and Titus, which are Europeans, put a garrison around Jerusalem to destroy them. They put a border around them, and those who didn't escape, they killed, destroyed, and put into captivity. The Europeans were behind this. Read.
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Read.
But woe unto them that are with child. Jump down verse.
Go down to the verse where it says, shall be led away captive. The last two verses.
Verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
So the real Jews fell by the edge of the Roman sword. Read.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And shall be what?
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And shall be led away captive into all nations. Now, if you are in captivity, they'll kill the wise and those who know. They will debase and demoralize the people. They will strip them down, colonize them, teach them a new religion, and take away their true origin. And in their new religions they would teach you that you're not the people and that they are the people. That was part of the religious brainwashing. Christianity. And they would deceitfully have you worship their pagan gods and tell you you're worshiping Christ. So how did they do this? Systematically. Understanding that the Jews, according to the Bible, would lose their heritage. So how can someone claim that they are a Jew today and say, I'm going to take Palestine, if you lost your heritage? If you lost your heritage, how can you stake claim to being Jews if you're fulfilling this prophecy? No, they were able to get the position by default because the true Jews lost their heritage and had no idea that they were the children of the promise. Okay? And what happened between the 8th and the 11th century? The Khazars, which were the Caesars, converted into Judaism at the height of the time of the Crusades. So they converted into Judaism to hide their Roman worships and also to politically trade on both sides between the Muslims and the Jews. And when the Jews altogether lost their heritage, I'm talking about the Jews of color, the Jewish people who were following Judaism through a religion claimed the title of Jew by default. No one else was claiming it. Why? Because we lost our heritage according to Jeremiah, the 17th chapter. Okay? What is the next question?
Neo 196 says,
Neo 196 says what?
do the elite know exactly where the Israelites are today?
The elite know exactly who the Israelites are in numbers. They set up cities to separate people according to ethnicity for this particular purpose. They also have people answering census all over the earth, and they know where we fled. They know the areas we fled into and with mass numbers. But they use DNA testing and science to compare to the bones and the remains in Jerusalem today so that they can track the children of Israel throughout the four corners of the earth. That's their plan with science. So yes, they do know in number where we are, but there's some that could fall through the cracks. So they will use their science to track those who may look European, who may look Asian, who may look like other races, but really they have that Jacob's bloodline. That's the reason for DNA databases today. What is the next question? Yahweh Kaliyah, go ahead.
Says, I saw a video where a Jewish man was on the Bill Dunley show and showed proof that there weren't really gas chambers or mass burnings as was told.
Exactly. Another thing leading into our topic today. There was one dude on the Phil Donahue show, correct? Years ago. And don't forget, after this particular show, Phil Donahue was canceled not long after this show. And that's when they introduced their mammy, Oprah Winfrey. Okay? Because Phil Donahue was a liberal. And he would let controversial guests come on his show. One of the controversial guests was explaining that according to the history that the Jewish people and the Jewish historians are bringing forth, he didn't use his findings. He used the history they gave him and the archaeology or the facts they gave him of Europe to prove there was no way possible for 6 million Jews to be burned. There was not enough ovens, and there was not enough place to put all these people, 6 million people. It wasn't even 1 million. It wasn't even 500,000. It wasn't even, it was near probably 100,000, if that. And he had the proof of this. And after that information came out on the Phil Donahue show, not too long after that, Phil Donahue was canceled. They started calling him an anti-Semite because he wasn't going along with the narrative. What is the next question? Rough Man Tony, go ahead.
Says, now that the sacrifices are done away with, Christians shouldn't have altars in their church.
Should Christians have altars in their church? I don't know what's going on up in there. I mean, as far as that's concerned. Altars were used for sacrifices. So how did they assimilate that or integrate that? Yes. Yeah, you couldn't have steps. It had to be, it had to be leveled. There was no steps going up into the altar. That is correct too. I don't know what they're doing over there. Okay, there's no altars were used for sacrifice unless what they're showing, unless they're showing that the people in the church that come to the altar are sacrifices to Baal. Maybe that's a reason they have the altars there. The people in their churches are being sacrificed to their God. Maybe. I don't know. I need to do the research on that. What's the next question? No questions right now. So I'm going to take the next couple of minutes to prove who is Melchizedek. Who is Melchizedek according to Scripture? All right. Let's go to Genesis. I'm going to ask the brothers and sisters, is this way better? Is this better what we're doing here right now? Because if this is better, this is the way we're going to stick to it going forward.